I think the formal education gives all of you a variety. It gives you a variety of knowledge around theories and concepts, but it also gives you the ability to adapt to a variety of different things. And in a leadership role, you never know what's going to be walking through that door. So you have to be aware. You certainly don't need to be the expert on everything within your organization, but you need to have an awareness of everything in your organization, because many times you're looked towards as the main resource to get things done. So I think that variety is a good thing. The knowledge is a good thing. However, where I say no, where I see it failing, the knowledge, and much of this knowledge that people are leaving schools with are theoretical or conceptual, but they're not taught how to practically apply this knowledge in real life situations, and that's where I see the main concern. Personally, I would like to see more education around things such as, how do we hire an individual? I would like to see more education around interpersonal styles. How do I deal with conflict? How do I deal with stress in a working environment? There's a difference between productive tension and unproductive stress. Unproductive stress can really be a cancer in an organization, and it's very real. We see that every day. So how do we deal with that? I would love to see more education on performance management, performance analysis, how to coach individuals, how to take our good information and apply it to a group of people that have very different knowledge levels, competency levels, behavioral styles, etc., because that kind of knowledge helps take our formal knowledge and helps us to adapt it in a way, I believe, that can be very productive, not only to developing individuals, but developing organizations as well.
Obviously, the formal education is important. We're all sitting in here, and but there's more to that. And there's a group that I lead, and we always say that the wisdom is in the room. And I think it's really important to know, and especially as far as building community and building on each other's ideas and creating more cohesiveness, and to understand vision, or to be in part of, to get everybody on board with vision and mission, is to remember that the people in the room bring something, and what are the gifts and skills. So wisdom in the room, as far as that critical thinking, we get some informal education, but not all. The experience and that wisdom we all carry is really important.
I joined the Milwaukee Police Department in 1985. In 1985, there was not a single woman in the Milwaukee Police Department in a supervisory role. And 17 years later, Chief Nan Hagerty became the first chief of the Milwaukee Police Department. Today we have a number of high-ranking female officers in the Milwaukee Police Department, including Edith Hudson, who's the deputy chief of the Neighborhood Policing Bureau, who is directly under my command, and it's made an impact. It really has. Women have a different perspective than men, as I'm sure you would all agree with me, right? And it's made me better. I tell you that I like to seek advice and get advice from our female command staff, because I get a different type of advice. And it really, I think you can't beat that diversity in the police agency. And policing, especially, because it's been called a man's profession, and it certainly is still populated primarily by men. But the role of women in policing and the contributions and the daily work that they've been able to undertake has just been phenomenal. And I'm glad that I've been a part of that transformation. I'm glad that I was there. I've learned a lot from being there, and not just women in the organization, but also minorities as well. I've made significant inroads.
I had a sign on my desk that said, if you want to manage something, manage yourself. And I really thought there was something to that, if you wanted people to act in some way, I don't know. And I was in the Navy, I always wanted the division to have a clean uniform. So what did you do if you really wanted it bad enough? You put a clean uniform on in the morning. And that's really, I think, if people can see your culture, and if your culture is what you want in the company, and you can really say, we are going to do the right thing.
Vision is reserved for the person who ultimately has risked all. I mean, we're not putting on a Broadway play where you have this sort of shared and we arrive at this shared vision. We talk a lot in our agency that the vision is reserved for the sheriff. We're interested in how it is in the Milwaukee Police Department. You argue when you run an organization, you have your arguments in private, and you arrive at what the vision is. You generally take it from a little higher up the food chain. You seek your opportunities to have input into it. When it's time for it to come out from behind closed doors, it comes out with one voice.
I think you communicate vision every day, and you communicate it through embodying it yourself. I mean, I think, you know, the idea of wearing that clean uniform. But I also think it's communicated whenever you are with a person within the organization, and you bring it up not as an idea that's in a brochure, but you talk about it in very real terms, and it's just part of your everyday vocabulary. So whenever we have a managers meeting, vision isn't something that's reserved for a strategic plan. We talk about it every meeting. Every meeting is drawn back to the mission of the organization, and every decision is filtered through that. And I mean every decision.